Hey, hey, hey. So let me make sure, like usual, that I am actually live and this is working. Give me one moment. If you are catching us live right now, go ahead and share the broadcast. While I'm sharing, you share, we all out there. Give me one moment to check. Let's make sure I'm live. Okay, I think I see me on there. Make sure you guys can hear me. Y'all know I like to want to make sure because technology has screwed me up one time on one episode. So we want to make sure that we are on there. Say hey as you're coming in. Hey y'all. And go ahead and share. Let me go ahead and get my little share on. Guys, I'm super excited today. I have one amazing guest. I cannot wait to hear her story. Listen, when I tell you, okay, I can hear myself. It's gonna be amazing today. Let me share. How do I share on this one? Now, every time I look at Facebook, they did something different. Okay. So let me share my screen so that y'all can all see. Join me now. Okay. So I've shared. Everybody else should be able to share. Hello to the replay viewers. I know that usually some people are able to catch us live. If you get to catch us live, then you are in for a treat because we actually can see your comments. We can hear your comments. Hey, Crystal. So if you're in the room, go ahead and tell me you're here. I know a lot of people come a little later. They come in and out through their lunch period. And thank you guys for joining. If you are catching the replay, make sure you listen up and let us know that you're catching the replay. So I shared it on my page. Go ahead and take this moment to share so all your friends can get this information because, honey, we have the Crushing Chemo Chick here today. And just a name like that makes you know you got to be in the room when she's speaking, okay? So we're about to hear her, and she's going to tell us about living beyond. I'm super excited to have this young lady here with us. It's I'm hyped. Like, I'm a little hyped. Let me calm down a little bit because it's going to be amazing, okay? Thank you for sharing, and thank y'all for everybody that always supports behind the highlight reels and support me. This is going to be amazing, okay? So today, let me get her bio out because I want to make sure I do it right. Her name is Charlisa. So forgive me if I have been saying it wrong, but she is the Crushing Chemo Chick. Like, you're not going to find another one like her. This woman here is amazing and beautiful at that. Y'all, she is a coach. She is a life survival strategist. Now, don't we all need one of those, especially in a time like this? COVID is happening, honey. Racial injustice has been happening. We have all this stuff that's going on in our lives. So she's gonna tell us how to survive, and not only survive, but how to live beyond that survival mode. She is a board certified life survival coach and strategist. So y'all know she got all the certifications, all the letters behind the name. She got it. If you're looking for somebody that's real and has been educated and trained to help you through your life, Miss Charlisa here is here for you. This Crushing Chemo Chick. I absolutely love that name. She is a 5-time author. She serves as the inspirational CEO in 2019 for the Urban CEO Network and as Miss Cancer Warrior Queen 2018 for the Cancer Warrior Project. Y'all, just listen to all those accolades. This woman is amazing, and she is here to bless us with her presence and talk to us about living beyond. So, y'all, help me welcome Miss Charlisa Herriott, the Crushing Chemo Chick. Let me go ahead and bring her up. Hey, girl, how are you?
Fine. How are you?
I am awesome. Listen, I love everything that you have going on. You are really serving us, okay?
Oh my
So
God.
listen, I just, first of all, absolutely love the name. I mean, Crushing Chemo Chick. I mean, if I could have just said that as the bio, we would have been all ready to listen anyways. But so many amazing accolades, so many amazing titles. You've done so much. Tell us a little bit about yourselves and about the Crushing Chemo Chick.
Yes, yes. I tell you, Theresa, I am so excited. I feel so honored to be your guest today and be on your platform. And I want to first to say thank you for opening up your doors to me and welcoming me into your home. I think that you are a beautiful person with a great inspiration, and it's been an honor to have gone through uh, getting over fear
Yes,
and,
yes.
with the course that you facilitated. So I just want to say thank you for that. So yes, I am, the crushing chemo chick. Yeah, that's me. I'm the one who has, endured talking about life struggles or challenges. And when you have, the adversity to actually just pop up out of the sky upon your pathway and just stops.
Mhm.
Like it seems like life just stops right there when I was diagnosed. And it happened 13 years ago when I was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer. And this was in the prime time. Life was good for me. Life was going great. I was here in Atlanta, Georgia, just moved. I wasn't even here for 3 months. I was here less than 3 months when I was diagnosed. And it came as a result from a car accident of me going home for Mother's Day weekend. And I was traveling on the freeway, my car hydroplaned, and it went down onto oncoming traffic. Was 18-wheeler was approaching me, and I just knew that it was going to be over. And then suddenly my car went down in the embankment, and I survived it. But at that particular point, the same spot where my car had stopped and crashed, there was a person that was there, another young lady who car did the same thing, hydroplane, but she, perished and I lived. So
Oh,
at
wow.
that moment, I knew that that was the hand of God. Um, so I
Yes.
went on and had injuries. I didn't really have any scars, anything bleeding. I just kind of like walked up from there, but ended up going because I was complaining about a headache. Went to the ER, and that's where they actually did an X-ray, chest X-ray, and they found, the tumor that was there, and in my chest cavity wall. And so as a result from that, I had to start, chemotherapy immediately. Um, and I end up having chemotherapy first, and then I went to have surgery, and then surgery where I had to have my whole right lung removed. It wasn't lung cancer; it's another rare form of cancer. But so I only have one lung, and so for the last 13 years, God has really blessed me to have this what I call strong one lung to keep me going and keep me pumping. And even in the midst of COVID-19, was
Right.
one strong lung. So God is amazing. He's amazing. He's
He
amazing.
is. That's just hearing that story. It's amazing that you were able to just walk away from that. Essentially, um, when you think back on it, the hand of God is just something that you can never mistake. You can never try to explain it away because that right there is such an amazing amazing story to share and to get me inspired right here. Just like I love hearing stories about the things that God does where people walk out of things, and it's just unbelievable. So I know you said that it was like 13 years ago and it was a rare form. What did you do? So when you heard that you had cancer, did you go to Prophet Google and try to find everything about it? Like, how did it go with you even asking your doctors questions? Tell us a little bit about that type of situation. Like, what happened in that instance?
Yes. With me, and here it is. I mean, God was just, He's shown His hand throughout the process. Because the day that I went to my oncologist and he was giving me the results after I had the biopsy,
Mm-hmm.
and then he told me that it was and confirmed that it was cancer, and I was alone at that particular. My mother was had biopsies a few weeks prior to, but she had to return back to Carolina at that time. So I was there at the oncology alone. And when he told me that, of course, I broke down. I mean,
Right.
literally screaming inside. And the nurse that was there, she came in, and so she was just like talking to me, and she stated to me, she asked me, she said, when she recognized that my last name, Herriott, she said, "Oh, wow." She said, "Where are you from?" And I told her, and then so she said, "Well, my husband, knows some, the same like the last name." And she asked me if I know any, Jenkins. And I was like, "Of course," and I told her that her last name, come to find out, her husband was my neighbor that I grew up with. I mean,
Wow.
yes, grew up with, literally. His
Wow.
parents were like secondary parents to me.
Mhm.
And so I didn't, she told me then, she said, "You're not alone." She said, "You have family." So that was so significant, and it just played such a strong hold on me for me to even, make my faith even stronger, because
Yeah.
it's okay, here, God, this is you again.
Mhm.
I'm in a new city. I just moved here. I just started the job where I was working, and I was on the job for just 1 week. So you thinking about being diagnosed with cancer and you haven't even been on the job long enough to get insurance,
Yes.
for the insurance to kick in, because it's like you have to be on there for a month, therefore, be prior to. But God worked it out, because then thereafter I had to have treatment. For starting off, it was every 3 weeks. And
Mm,
so I was like, okay, how am I going to tell the new job that I just got hired?
right.
And I said, I can't tell them this, because if I do, they're gonna probably let me go. So what I did is I kept it to myself. I didn't say anything. And I actually had chemotherapy, and I worked it out to where I was off every third, Friday. It ended up being on a Friday. And so therefore, when I started with the chemotherapy, you hear the rage that chemotherapy has a different effect on different people. And so at that time, it did have an effect on me where I was tired. And my chemotherapy was 8 hours long.
Ooh,
It was like you going to work for a long
yes.
time. I would be there at 9 o'clock in the morning, and then I'm the last one who leaves in every Friday during that
Mhm.
time period at 5. And I'm literally on the pole with the chemotherapy, going through my body system that whole entire time. And so I had to do that with my job, worked it out when it was time for surgery. Because I was diagnosed in June, and then I started chemotherapy immediately thereafter in July. And then so by December is when we were going to have the surgery. So we did the
Mhm.
chemotherapy to shrink it before we, because the tumor was so large. And at the time, the tumor was largest, the largest one that they, like I said, it was a rare form, so there's
Mhm.
not much information, research that's out there. And then plus two, that, it was so huge that they wasn't sure exactly how to really, attack it and how we were going to really do this. And so the surgeon that actually performed it, he was the best thoracic surgeon in the Southeast. And he's never seen a tumor that large. So I was already, on the doctors, they're talking about it and at their conferences, discussing my case. And so when it was time for the surgery, I ended up going to another new position. Here I am still applying for jobs. I'm still trying to move forward because I'm still trying to say I'm going to crush it, right? Because I'm not going to allow this thing, to take over, or to rectify or determine what my future would be. So therefore, I went on, applied for another position, got the position, and then I started working for the courts then, and that was and moving and escalating, making my dreams, crushing it as I desire, while still going through treatment. And it just worked out, and it just panned out to that part. But I asked God, why me? And God told me, he said, why not you? I have already equipped you for this. And I was like, Lord, okay, here I am going through these side effects. And I'm like, really, Lord, did you really equip me for this? Am I really, made for this? I don't know if I'm built for this. Here in Atlanta, Georgia, the Northside Hospital Cancer Center, and their theme is, you're built for this. And I keep asking myself when I go and I see that sign, I said, I don't know if I'm built for this. I might be missing a little something, Lord, because it's really getting to me. But one thing is, I never was angry with God.
Wow.
Never.
And that right there, it really is very humbling because, and I know me and Chanel last time was talking about, times where we were angry. It's very humbling to hear you say you were never angry with God. Here you are fighting for your life, fighting for not only, with cancer and sickness, but for your job, to move on, to be not treated any different, but just to show the strength. And I be upset with God about little stuff. It's very humbling because it's like the audacity to me to be upset for the foolishness. And here I am not going through the same types of stuff. I just absolutely adore your spirit. And the way you can see the strength in your story just when you're talking about what you're going through. This is amazing. Like I'm sure. And I even think about how my mom went through a kind of similar thing. She had a brain tumor and it was wrapped on her brain stem with like nerves wrapped around it. They said it was like a hot dog. And just watching my mom, one of the strongest women that I knew and I still love, watching her go through just the radiation and the chemo and all that stuff, it really takes a toll on your body. So to see you still, and my mom now, she doesn't work, but to see you still trying to tell us that you were moving, and y'all forgive my dog. My dog does not deal with people at the door. Hey, Coco, no. But to see your strength and saying that you were still working during this time, that's amazing. That is phenomenal. Please tell me a little bit about more about how like you dealt with your employees, like because I know a lot of people are afraid to talk to their employees about their health. Tell me a little bit more about your employers, and how you dealt with them with expressing what you were going through.
Yes. When I went to the second position and started working with the courts, and then there when it was getting time ready for the surgery, I had to let them know because I want to have time off. And so I actually met with my supervisor at that time and disclosed it to her. And actually, because I just got hired that October, and when I got hired that October, the surgery was scheduled for that December.
Oh,
And
wow.
So there I was again, a new position, didn't really have time in for the insurance, and I'm about to have major surgery. And so, with treatment, you have to continue on, and that's very costly. So I prayed to God about it. I said, I've seen your hands in it. I know you're not going to, brought me this far to leave me. And I know that you are with me. And, and I believe that you are a healer. You are one who can work miracles. And I know that you're going to be able to work a miracle on this. So that's where once I, disclosed to my supervisor about it, what she did, she felt so much compassion that she went to the staff with my coworkers, because, I was a behavioral therapist. And so she went with the others, and then she asked them, and they donated leave.
Wow.
Leave for me,
Yeah.
because I had to be gone for 3 months. And so I was gone for 3 months, and it was donated leave. So therefore, I did not miss a paycheck.
Wow. Look at God. I mean, he will take care. When he said he will, he will. That
He
is
will do it. He will do
yeah.
it. And I believed in him because I stood firm on words. And see, that's the thing, when you have that faith, and your faith is set on firm foundation, that it's not on quicksand, it's not, made in dirt that's gonna, ravel or break
Yeah.
apart, but it was a firm foundation where my faith was set. God has shown me many times prior to in my life that he was there, and that he can, he will keep me. And I know that he will going to keep me then too. So I stood firm on that. My employer, they worked it out. When I returned, I would return well until it reoccurred. And so once it reoccurred, then that's when I was departed. But then at that time there, you're fighting for, I was blessed that when I returned for a number of years, that I was able to actually perform and still perform, up to par. Um, but then when it came to the time frame that when I ended up leaving, then I became ill then. So then it was more of, what do we do now? So, but yeah, I think that a lot of times that we have a lot of survivors and fighters that are out there who are working, and it's one thing to fight for your life, but then to fight for your insurance, because a lot of companies, they're looking at, okay, we're going to let them go because it's too costly, for someone who's being treated for cancer. So they rather let you go as opposed to keep you on payroll.
So tell me a little bit now. We talked a little bit about your faith, but what type of personal development did you do during this time? And how important was like the mindset management, the personal development, the being optimistic? And what did you do in times where, maybe your faith may have dwindled just a little bit, or, your mind may have went left for a moment and you had to reel yourself back in? Tell me about a little bit about how you made it through those times.
I think what really was more challenging is when it reoccurred back in December 2016. And so then I was there faced again. And so this time I didn't ask God, why me? But then I asked myself, okay, God, what is it that I am not doing that you are desiring for me to do? What is it that, I should be doing? I want to do whatever that you have already planned for me. I want your plans to come forth. It's not about my plan. Okay. It's not about Charlisa's, plans, what she has. That's out the window. It's what God, what you want and desire for me. And so then I started having my what I call coffee communications with God. And so I started having my me moments, my me time with God. And then allowing God, getting up every morning and getting up around the same time, because I noticed that 3 o'clock in the morning, he would wake me up. 3 o'clock in the morning, every morning, waking me up. So then I started, having a notebook and a pen right by my bed, because when he wakes me up, then he'll download things to me. He'll say things to
Yes.
me. And then so I began to write. And so, and that was 2 years ago in 2018 during July, because my birthday's on the 16th. So 2 years ago, I ended up writing the 31 Joys of Living, the
Yeah.
31 Joys of Life, actually. And so, and I wrote it down every day within that month. He told me something, and I sat there and I wrote it. So that's what I'm working on now to develop into an ebook, is what he had given me, 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But spending that time with him, because that's when I was like being raw and real. I'm like, okay, God, I know you said that you quit me, but I just don't feel it. My, it's like almost like Paul says, it's not, I don't believe, but help my unbelief,
Yeah.
And so it's like, help my unbelief, because I am still experiencing all of the stuff that's going on with my body. But, the first time I went through it, it was a physical challenge, I would say, because that's what I look at as a challenge. I don't look at it anything else, because it's the mindset,
Right.
and I want to take ownership of what it was. I said, if that's what they seen, that's what they seen. But I know what God says, I
Right.
know.
Amen.
So then I had to, shift my mindset, and also shift the way that I spoke. I speak those things that are not as though they were. So I was speaking healing. In order for me to be healed, I had to already see myself as being healed. And so that's where I look, and I seen myself as being healed. I stood firm on God's promises. So then I wasn't focused on the problems, So as
Yeah.
I was going through the treatment, for the second time, and then the challenges that came along with it, because I had to stop chemotherapy, was affecting my heart. So what was trying to save my life was then actually attacking me to take my life again. So
Right.
when you're in the midst of that challenge, and you're going through and all of that, and still I'm trying to become what, an entrepreneur, because
Mm.
I've already, left my position, from the government. So I was no longer working there. But then now I'm trying to, redefine myself, try to rediscover who I am, who is this new me that I see now, God, the things that I enjoy, that I know that I enjoy doing. You mean I can't do those things anymore? I can't go and counsel anyone else anymore? I like, Lord,
Mm.
that was my passion, But then
Right.
God said, yes, you can, but you're doing it in a different way. You're doing
Yeah.
it to, your mission is, your audience is a different audience now, And saying this time you're going to do it, and people are going to actually see you walk through it. You're not going to be, it's not going to be like, oh, this is what has happened. I'm telling you what happened like 15 or 13 years ago. Yeah, 13 years ago, I was originally diagnosed, but I am still today. I am still fighting literally today. I just finished up radiation. But if you look at me, you wouldn't be able to tell, and
Yeah.
that's where it comes in with the mindset. You got to be set, with your clear mind, and your mind has to be on positive things, not negativity. And
Yes.
you got to not surround yourself with negativity. If there's someone who's speaking negative or speaking against, what my desires are, or even just speaking against about my healing, or they'll, some people will come and say like, oh, yeah, my so and so. I don't need to hear that you're person, and then that this is something that end up being that they die. Well, they may have.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me see. Did we lose you? Let's remove and come back on there. Well, it looks like again, every time we be into stuff, Let's see if we can get her back on here because she was telling us some good stuff. All right. So while I try to get her back on as we're having technical difficulties, y'all, when I tell y'all, it does not fail. Every time you are trying to give a good word, trying to enlighten someone, there's always something that comes. Like today, and the people that's been rolling with me, y'all know there's been a struggle every single episode where something has happened, but we're gonna get it together. Here we go. We got her back.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay. I
girl.
think the devil is a liar.
Like,
There goes
listen,
with my
every single episode, every time we talk, we literally every time you get into mindset management, talking about God, it never fails. It never fails. But we still gonna get this story out here, because just seeing and when you were so rudely cut off by the enemy, um, you were talking about you're still going through that fight now. I love that. And that's why I really, really, really wanted to have this show. I think it's so vital and so important for people to see like what's happening behind all the beautiful pictures and all the social media posts when we are still out here fighting through stuff. Just because we're entrepreneurs doesn't mean life is great for us. We are still battling, if anything, a lot more stuff. So I just applaud you, and I am so I like when I say I applaud you and I appreciate you for even taking a moment to be on this show while you're going through this, because you could have just sat back and said, you know what, I'm not here for it, not right now. But I applaud you, and yes, I see the comments rolling in about positivity and mindset management. Tell us a little bit more about like even the support. You were talking about people around you talking and sometimes we got to understand, sometimes some people don't mean harm to share. They're trying to like relate with you, but sometimes it's like not being rude, but I don't want to hear about your cousin that had such and such and it didn't work for them, because I don't need that in my spirit. I'm so glad that
right.
you said that.
Right,
So glad.
right. It's almost like you go and you're out to dinner and you're having a nice meal, and you're going to take eat what you like, and the things
Mhm.
that you don't like, you're going to leave it there on the plate. And so that's how I have to look at it when I interact with others. You take whatever you need and that is useful to you, and then you take those things and you use it. But anything else, then you block it. Don't have it in your life. So when you share your dreams, and your visions as an entrepreneur and going out there, so, oh, well, guess what? This is what I have an idea. And if they're not happy with you, then that's okay.
Move on.
I'm not going to take on the same spirit that you have. I know what God is showing me. I know if God says it's good and he's giving it to me, then that's the seal of approval.
Exactly.
That's all that I need. And then the people who will actually be there for you, because I said always be mindful of your circle of love.
Yes.
Check your
Ooh,
circle of
I
love.
love that circle of love. I'm gonna have to take
Check
that, girl.
your
I
circle of
love that.
love. Because not everyone you want to allow into your circle of love really truly love you.
Hmm.
They may love what you're doing, they may love what you're going after, but you got to ensure that everyone, and even when I go and say sometimes, like when I look at being a life strategist, and everyone can be on the in the car with you.
Hmm.
Not everyone is going on the same journey,
Yes.
So we got to be careful who we're allowing to drive or who we ride with,
Yes.
because we
So
don't
you
know where
you
they're heading.
you mentioned being a life strategist. Were you already moving towards that before this, or did this just propel you into I have to help others as well?
This is what God is showing me is the next level.
Mhm.
He said that you can still be in the criminal justice system and the ones who had mentally, illness. So you help them there, but here you can help people in life, to get
Yeah.
over the struggles of life, because you have gone through some struggles in life,
Yeah.
you have survived some things. So, not only did I go through and get board certified, become a coach, but even just life struggles itself, qualified me, So
Yeah.
when I speak of surviving something, yeah, you can name it, I survived it. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about now moving into like your healing part, and even your permanent healing and your healing right now. How is being a life strategist, how is that helping your healing? And I ask that because I realize when I'm helping others, for it's like it energizes me and it encourages me even in my deepest moments. How has that helped your healing during this time?
It has confirmed it, to know that healing is my portion,
Yeah,
and so that's what I try to encourage others, to let them know that healing is your portion, rather it's physical healing, if it's mental healing
mm,
here that you want. I cannot want that for you. You have
right.
to want it for yourself. And the thing is, I have to allow you to, remove the lenses, because sometimes the lenses that we're looking at life and looking at for our vision is so cloudy that we can't see the healing.
Yeah,
We can't see ourselves healed, So therefore, we don't speak healing because we don't see ourselves as being healed. You speak what you see. So whatever you see, if you see challenges, then, or you see defeat, then you're going to speak defeat. But as
right.
you see that you're healed, then you will speak healed. So then that's where I try to help them to remove those lenses and look at it from the healing eyes. Not look at it from a carnal eyes, but look at it from spiritual eyes. Because when we
Yes,
look at it through the eyes of God, we see life a whole lot differently.
yes, yes, yes. So listen, I'm ready just to get everybody over here with you. Like, we just need to be sitting down, hearing so much more. Tell us a little bit now with your business and Crushing Chemo. Okay, tell us a little bit how what people can expect when they work with you, because we already get a little snippet right now. Like, we know you're gonna set us straight, but what else can we expect? Are you how do we take that and like even help the rest of our lives? Like, what can we expect?
That you can look at whatever you're dealing with in life, and you can apply, if you have a plan, a plan
Mhm.
of action. So when you work with me, we're going to get to the plan of action. We're going to look at the root cause of it.
Mm,
What is your mindset on it? What are your thoughts on it? Because every action leads back to a thought.
yeah,
It's a thought of what you had on that. If you're broken and you're battered and you're bruised, then it goes back to your thoughts of what did you think of yourself? Did you think of yourself as being low? Did you think of yourself not being enough? Did you think of yourself as not being loved or not being trustworthy, or however you thought? So we have to go back to our thought processing. So when
mhm,
you work with me, we're going to deal with the thought, with the mindset. That's why I have mind fueling moments, because it's like
yeah,
whatever you fuel in your mind is what's going to go and get down into
yeah,
your heart, and then that's what you're going to respond, and then that's how you're going to act out, okay, and behave in that manner. So we need to really set our minds and fuel our minds the
mhm,
right way. So you have to be willing to want to do it. I can't do it for you. I can't empower you. You
yeah,
have to find the power within you, to be able to rise from your ashes and to reign, in your greatest potential. And so that's what I teach, women, how to rise from their ashes, whatever their ashes may be, whatever their struggles may have been, whatever the challenges of life may have been, to rise above it. Because if you're drowning and your nose is above water, below water, it's underneath the water. You're trying to
Yeah.
flap, you're trying to survive, and you trying to live, you're trying to do, you're just fighting, and you're fighting the waters, but you're not moving anywhere because you're
Mhm.
frantic, you're frazzled, you're fearful, and you can't see anything, so you're trying to see. But if you get above the water, even if you just get your eyes above, get your nose above, and get your mouth above, and the water can be right here. But if you can remain right there until you build up the strength and the endurance to be able to rise up and walk
Yeah.
out of that water, then you can survive. But you got to get the water, get up to here so you can be able to see, you got to
Mhm.
see above the issues, see above the problems, see beyond it. And that's why I say you got to live beyond.
Yes,
Live
I
beyond.
absolutely love that. So tell me, what services specific do you, so we know you do coaching and we know you do speaking. We know that you're an author. Do you also do courses and classes and things like that? I'm trying to figure out what other ways can we touch and get involved?
Yes, yes. I have a webinar that's going to be coming up, and it's going to be living beyond in next
Mhm.
month in August. So you can be looking out for that, because that would be the first development of creating many more courses, but living beyond, trying to get beyond that point.
Awesome, awesome. So before we wrap up real quick, what how can people get in touch with you? What's the
Yes,
easiest
they can.
best
Yes, they can actually get in contact with me and follow me on social media, all social media platforms at Charlisa Herriott, and also on Facebook at Crushing Chemo Chic.
Awesome. And so we do have, I do this every time, can't find my, there it is. We put it in the comments, or not in the comments, at the bottom. So you do see that. Follow her. She is amazing. And you see just a little snippet of it right now. It has been amazing. What is one thing that you want to leave with us before we go? Because we're gonna have to do this again, girl. I have so much I want to talk to you, and just sitting back, I feel like I was at church, like I was trying not to be like, preach, but what is one thing you want to leave with us today?
And it's amazing that you say about preach, because I am also a licensed minister. So sometimes that can kind of come out as well. But the thing that I want to leave with your viewers and your audience is to know that you can live beyond whatever it is. You can live beyond. And how do we live beyond? And then one thing I want to say is to be present. Be in the
Mm,
present, be in the present, be aware of what's going on, look at your circumstances, look at your surroundings. And then once you are aware of what's going on, then secondly, be planful. Come up with a
yeah.
plan, a way of escape, and then thirdly, be celebrateful. Celebrate life for
Yes.
where you are in life. Because life could be a whole lot worse, but you
Yeah.
need to celebrate. And it's what you make it, and how you determine it. Here in the midst of COVID-19, and I'm still fighting, but then still yet I'm calling myself and saying that I am healed, because I am. So I'm not going to allow, what's happening outside there, to allow it to control my life. So
Mm.
be celebrateful for the breath of life, because we can still breathe.
Yes, I absolutely love that. It is so funny. We are so equally yoked, because those are the things that I tell people too, and I absolutely love that people get to hear it from multiple people, and it just impresses more into their mind. So, guys, we're going to have her back at another time. We're gonna have to connect probably after this so we can bring y'all back. But y'all already see how to connect with Charlisa on Facebook. Go ahead and look her up, Crushing Chemo Chick. Google her, because she comes up on Google. Crushing Chemo Chick. She is the one, the only. Thank you so much for sharing with us today and joining us. Even though they try to take us out with the internet, you are so good to come back. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Guys, I I'm excited. I'm excited to hear everything else. Go like, follow, subscribe, go to her website, pay attention, make sure you're on everything that she's doing. Look out for her webinar in August. We're going to be following you so that we can share your webinar and we can all join you. Guys, thank you guys so much for joining us today. We will see you guys later on Behind the Highlight Reels. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.